As you may be aware of, after several years of Contra silence from Konami, they decided to release a digital-only collection called the Contra Anniversary Collection. This compilation had a great deal of Contra gems included on it, and all for a low price of only $20. Were there good games on it? Yeah, of course, but does this collection have some glaring omissions? Also yes. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the top 5 games missing from the Contra Anniversary Collection, and why they should have been included. Number 5. Now before we start this list, I want to acknowledge the fact that some people are going to say this is supposed to be a Contra Retro titles only, which it seems to be, but if you wanted to make a truly great Contra compilation and include the best of the best, well, some of those won't be considered retro. This leads me to number 5 spot, which is Neo Contra on the PlayStation 2. This game released in 2004 and is oddly a 3D overhead perspective game as opposed to the standard side-scrolling Contra style that we're all used to. Being that the only other 2 3D Contra games were outsourced and developed by Appaloosa, which were complete garbage, this is, in my opinion, the only good 3D Contra game up to this date. This game is full of humor, over-the-top wacky bosses, and a storyline which I don't want to spoil for you right here. This game also introduces a new character to the series, which is Genbi Yagyu, otherwise known as Jaguar, who wields a sword among the other normal guns found in the game. It's a fun game that I'm sure people missed out on, as Contra is mostly known for the NES and Super NES, so including it on here might have brought some new eyes onto this unique and fun Contra experience. Number 4. Sticking with the PS2 for one more entry, this time we're talking about Shattered Soldier. This game, actually released before Neo Contra, came out in 2002, directly after the 2 Appaloosa craps, Legacy of War and Contra Adventure. This time, the actual Konami team was brought back on the job and made it themselves, and boy can you tell the difference. Returning to the traditional 2D side-scrolling view, Shattered Soldier packs about as much action and boss fighting into a single game as you possibly can. Reminiscent of Contra Hardcore from Genesis, there is very little traversing and more or less boss after boss after boss, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. The graphics in this game are outstanding for the time, and the soundtrack is a must listen. As in Neo Contra, Shattered Soldier has a ranking system, which you are scored in how well you do in each level, based on the number of deaths and the hit percent, which is how many of the enemies you actually killed. To see the later levels in the game, you have to have a high ranking, like an A or S ranking, and to see the hidden ending, you must complete the whole entire game with an S ranking, and that's not an easy task. This is an extremely hard, challenging game, but one you don't want to miss out on. It's a shame Konami didn't include these 2 standalone PS2 games on the collection. Number 3. Coming at number 3 on the list is Contra 4 for the DS. Why? Simple. This was a handheld only game released on Nintendo DS in 2007. So wouldn't it be nice to play this on a full-size TV with a real controller? Sure it would. There is a DS emulator that exists, so it would have been nice to see this game feature on the Contra collection for people who never played the DS and therefore couldn't play this game, or people who just wanted to see this awesome game on an actual big screen like a TV. And we're not just saying put it on here because it was portable only. This game holds its own as a great Contra game, regardless of being only released on a handheld. It takes place after the events of Contra 3 The Alien Wars from Super Nintendo, and was developed by Way Forward Technologies, and they did an incredible job with this game. This game is played in a 2D side-scrolling style, utilizing both screens together almost flawlessly into one larger screen. There are also a few levels that use that forced 3D perspective like the original Contra NES did, and it's a nice little throwback to earlier style 3D graphics. There are a ton of characters to choose from, such as good old Bill and Lance, among many other unlockable characters. There's even a challenge mode which you can unlock a ton of extras, including bonus characters mentioned, as well as sound tests, interviews, and the NES version of Contra and Super Sig. It's a shame it wasn't included on here, but if you're one of those people who missed out on this game, I highly recommend you find a DS and grab this game. It's an action-packed good time. Number 2. Number 2 on this list is a game called Hardcore Uprising, and it's on this list for a few reasons. The first being that the name doesn't even have the word Contra in it, and was probably missed by a lot of people. It was also digital only and was never released physically. The game came out in 2011 for the Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network, and was actually the last Contra game released at the time that this collection came out. The game uses the tried and true 2D side-scrolling view and is said to be a prequel to Contra Hardcore. It was even planned that this would be the start of a fresh new Contra series, but that obviously did not come to fruition. This game was developed by Arc System Works, who in my opinion did an excellent job. The art style here is way different than seen in many previous Contra games, and the entire cast of playable characters is new, which would make it seem as if it was a prequel. Gone are Bill and Lance, and this time the two main starting characters are Bahamut and Crystal. There are also 3 more characters that you can download as paid DLC. The game takes place across 8 long levels with varying themes and bosses. The challenge is high in this game, and the arcade mode is very brutal. Luckily though, there's this feature called a Rising mode. In Rising mode, you can collect currency and upgrade your guns, life meter, live count, and other things. It makes the game a little more easier, but also adds a ton of replayability to it. As of now, this game is still available digitally, so check it out if you want a hardcore Contra experience with their modernist type graphics on the 360 or PS3.
Number 1.
Finally getting to the first game on this list. What would it be? A really good Contra game? A rare one? A bad one? Well, how about one that's not even available anymore? Yep, you guessed it. The number 1 game that Konami should have included on the Contra collection is Contra Rebirth from the Nintendo Wii. Contra Rebirth was a digital-only game released in 2009 on the Nintendo Wii, developed by M2. The problem is that the Wii Shop channel, which is the digital storefront for the Wii, was closed in early 2019 and you can no longer buy games from the Wii Shop. That means whatever games you didn't buy are gone forever. A concept that I cannot support, and another reason why I do not like digital-only games. When they're gone forever. As in the case with Contra Rebirth, along with over 400 something other games on the Wii Shop, they are gone forever. But anyway, about the game. It was part of the Rebirth series that Konami did for the Wii Shop. Along with Contra was Castlevania and Gradius. They were reimaginings of the series. Contra Rebirth had a total of 5 levels, but were all completely new and original. There was even a secret boss at the end if you played on a harder difficulty. The game is a little short, but was still pretty fun. To start the game, you can choose to play as either Bill Lance or Genbi Yagyu, otherwise known as Jaguar, who was first seen in Neo Contra on the PlayStation 2. There's also 2 other characters that can be unlocked through gameplay, bringing the total playable characters up to 4. The action was good, standard 2D side-scrolling levels. The level with all these mechanical llamas was one that really sticks out as being original and fun. It was an all-around decent game, which is a shame that you can no longer purchase it, or play it if you didn't already have it downloaded on your Wii console. This is why it would have been a perfect game to put on its collection, as it is no longer available anywhere. It would at least preserve it for many years to come, but sadly it's missing from this collection, and gone for good as of now. But if you got it, play it, because it's pretty cool. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see the full video review of any of these games, click up here to the top right to watch our Contra playlist. If you want to see the video about the game in number 1 spot, click down here to the bottom right. Thanks for watching and have a great day.